of your vision. And we have the right loan product to bring it to life.
When your plans are bigger and bolder and others don't see you, BOSL Elite Builders Capital Plus gives you the backing to move ahead. With 5% interest, up to 15 years to repay, 20% down, and a credit card of up to $100,000. BOSL Elite Builders Capital Plus, bringing bigger plans to life.
In the headlines, Pierre defends SSDF financial management and priority list could reshape citizens' career choices.
Ready to sing it out? Every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Bring the energy to the ultimate blast karaoke night. Shower singer or stage legend. If you've got a voice, the mic is yours. And the vibes stay high. From old school classics to today's biggest hits. Step up, sing loud, sip on drink specials, enjoy tasty eats, and big with Bingo! Blast Entertainment Center, corner of Chisel and Brazil Street. Upstairs, the new Starlight Building. So warm up those vocals, grab the mic. Blast Karaoke Night. Big notes, bigger wins.
Get ready for another evening of spectacular performances at Blast Karaoke Night on Wednesday, 12th August 2026.
Good day, it is Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Midday News Edition. Whether you are tuned in on Flu Channel 117, Kiss FM, Hot FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page, or our YouTube channel, Caribbean Hot 7 TV. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna, thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre responds to questions about the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Pierre has dismissed allegations surrounding the audit and financial management of the SSDF as false, following concerns raised in a July 28th letter. The Prime Minister said the SSDF audit process is continuing despite gaps in financial records, adding that the fund was created to provide assistance to people in need.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has rejected claims surrounding the audit and financial management of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, SSDF, describing the allegations as false. The comments followed a July 28, 2026 letter addressed to the Prime Minister and copied to the Director of Audit, the President of the Caribbean Development Bank, foreign embassies, and civil society organizations. The letter raised concerns about the independence and oversight of SSDF audits and suggested that the issues could affect the confidence of international development partners. Speaking at Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, Pierre dismissed the claims as false to the highest degree.
The leader of the opposition has written several organizations, several embassies, several foreign governments, locally and internationally, including the Caribbean Development Bank, proclaiming that there has been no audits of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund since the Labour Party is in power. I want to tell you, this is a falsity of the highest order.
He noted that when the United Workers' Party was in office from 2016 to 2021, the then opposition leader had not initiated any audits of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. He added that the most recent audit covering the 2017 and 2018 financial years had been conducted under the St. Lucia Labour Party administration in March 2023.
The last audit for the St. Lucia Social Development Fund was done for the years 2017 and 2018. These audits were done in March 2023 as part of its efforts to address the outstanding financial statements. The board encountered challenges in obtaining the necessary supporting documents for the subsequent financial years, 2017 to 2018, 2018 to 2019, 2019 to 2020, and 2020 to 2021, all under the governance of the United Workers' Party. No audits were performed, none.
He noted that following the extensive discussions with the auditors, the Board of Governors of the SSDF had agreed to continue the audit process despite the missing years of records.
The only reason why statements have not been prepared is because the United Workers' Party, under the present leader of the opposition, failed to present audited statements for these years. And the years that were presented were years 2016, when they took over the SSDF from the St. Lucia Party. And all the years before that, audited statements on the Labour Party were prepared.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre said that the Social Development Fund was established to assist people and provide support to those in need.
I know what the SSDF means to the underserved people of this country. I know what it means to them. The SSDF is a merger of the St. Lucia Poverty Reduction Fund and the Basic Needs Trust Fund. It's a merger. And if you look at what it was created to do, is to help the underserved to reduce poverty. And I'm very, 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 very conscious of the role of the SSDF, because that's what our party is all about. It's about assisting people at the grassroots level.
For the administration, Pierre's position is that the allegations do not reflect the facts, while the outstanding records and audit work will need to provide greater clarity for the fund's financial management. For 7 TV News, Josiah Bisset reporting.
An inmate identified as Edward Pierre died at the Bordelais Correctional Facility on Saturday, August 8th, with officials rejecting online claims that his health concerns were ignored. Assistant Director for Operations Stanius Charles says inmate medical complaints are taken seriously, while preliminary findings indicate no foul play.
An inmate at the Bordelais Correction Facility has died, with Assistant Director for Operations Stanius Charles confirming the death occurred on Saturday, August 8, 2026. The inmate has been identified as Edward Pierre. Charles has pushed back against claims circulating online, alleging that Pierre had complained of health problems for about a week, but was repeatedly ignored by authorities before his death. He said the facility takes inmates' medical complaints seriously, and that health concerns are dealt with through the appropriate channels.
That is not the case. We take very good care of the inmates who are incarcerated at the facility. We tend to call requests of any illnesses that have been reported to us. He passed away whilst incarcerated.
Charles also confirmed that preliminary reports have found no indication of foul play in Pierre's death.
We are awaiting the autopsy results to show definitively what was the cause of death. However, we have not, preliminary investigations have not identified any foul play. Like I say, we await the autopsy results that will say definitively what is wrong with him, but he is known to have some medical challenges.
Officials say the circumstances surrounding Pierre's death are being reviewed. For Hot 7 News, I'm Chloe Dantes reporting.
A video circulating online appears to show a young boy tied to a tree while adults bring a live snake close to him despite his repeated pleas for them to stop. Managing Director of the St. Lucia Crisis Center, Lancia Isidore, condemned the incident as physical and psychological abuse and warned that such treatment can leave lasting emotional scars.
A disturbing video circulating on social media has raised
concern after a young boy was filmed tied to a tree while adults brought an alleged live snake close to him. The child can be heard repeatedly pleading with those involved to stop, but the intimidation continued as the camera captured his distress. The camera continues rolling as the terrified child struggles with the deliberate intimidation, while his distress is turned into content and circulated across social media. After reviewing the footage, Managing Director of the St. Lucia Crisis Center, Lancia Isidore, condemned the incident as physical and psychological abuse, warning that such treatment can leave lasting emotional scars.
I think these domestic matters should not be viewed as private. They should be addressed because this can really lead to future aggressive behavior by the child and even long-time trauma. This is viewed as an abusive situation, and St. Lucia Crisis Center condemns such practices. This is where positive parenting and mental health support programs play a pivotal role.
She warned that being restrained and deliberately terrorized can leave deep. This is the Hot 7 TV Midday News Edition. There is more after the break.
Did you know that while you're busy with your day, important news is breaking all around you? From politics to weather updates, community stories, and breaking news. Hot 7 TV keeps you informed with news every hour on the hour. Don't wait to hear it secondhand. Stay ahead. Stay informed with Hot 7 TV St. Lucia. News notes on the hour. Stay updated wherever you are. Catch Hot 7 TV St. Lucia's news every hour on the air, on our mobile app, and on our website.
Welcome back. St. Lucians could soon receive clearer government guidance on which qualifications are most urgently needed in the country. Minister for Education, Youth Development, Sports and Digital Transformation, Kenson Casimir, says a priority list is being considered to help citizens make more informed academic and career choices, although the list has not yet been made public. The initiative is intended to give students and prospective professionals a clearer understanding of where national demand is strongest before choosing their courses of study. Choosing a course of study can be a costly long-term decision. The government now wants citizens to consider not only their interests, but also whether their chosen profession is needed within St. Lucia's labor market.
As Minister of Education, that was one of the issues I raised very early with my technocrats, because we do have that situation in St. Lucia. There is a reason why we have a government priority list. We also encourage young people to consult the government priority list, which would tell you what are the skills we absolutely need on this island and we are willing to fund by way of education. So that list would tell you that we don't need lawyers, specifically in St. Lucia. We have so many lawyers. So if you, as an individual, decide on your own that you're going to study law, it's because you're betting on yourself to be better than the already saturated market of lawyers in St. Lucia.
The Education Minister raised the issue during Monday's pre-cabinet briefing. He indicated that demand is greater for some professions than others and said the proposed list would identify national priority areas.
We do have a government priority list so that individuals could see the list of let's just say technical skills that are needed in country that is not available.
The proposed measure could give prospective students a clearer picture of where employment opportunities may exist. However, government has not yet explained whether the list will be advisory or whether it will guide scholarships, grants, and other forms of assistance.
The fact of the matter is you do want individuals to study what they believe is within their purview to study and their skills being harnessed and that sort of thing. As a minister, my duty is to ensure that there's a more equitable space on a global market for our skills that are coming back in St. Lucia. So creating that symbiotic relationship with some of the biggest companies, the biggest organizations, the global funds, to ensure that when young people come back in St. Lucia and they do have a degree in a particular skill, that they don't look at only St. Lucia as being a possible place for them to work, but they can get some form of employment somewhere in the region as opposed to coming back with a degree and sitting home and being unemployed.
More information is expected on the priority professions, how frequently the list will be updated, and what support will be available to citizens who pursue them. I'm Christabel Obi reporting for Hot 7 TV News.
And speaking of education, there is good news for parents and students as the new school term approaches. New Form 1 students across St. Lucia are expected to receive laptops within the first week of the new school term as efforts continue to expand access to technology and support learning in the classroom and at home.
In an increasingly technology-driven world, access to the right tools is becoming an essential part of a student's education. For new Form 1 students, that means having a laptop that can support learning in both the classroom and at home. At a pre-cabinet briefing on Monday, 10th August 2026, Minister for Education, Honorable Kenton Casimir, stated that as the new school term begins, students are expected to receive their laptops within the first week of school. The distribution of devices forms part of broader efforts to expand digital learning across St. Lucia's education system, with
every student walking into Form 1 receives the laptop within the first week.
As St. Lucia moves toward a more interactive and technology-driven education system, the distribution of laptops to new Form 1 students is helping equip them for the demands of modern learning. The ministry acted early to secure the devices, ensuring students have access to the necessary technology from the start of the school year and can keep pace with students around the world.
In times past, we've had to wait because of course, some of the procurement issues. We'd have some form of, disruption. But we took the approach that very early we were going to procure these laptops so that by the end of the first week, every student in Form 1 would be ready to go, ready to do what they need to do in terms of use of technology and be on par with the rest of the world.
For students, the devices are more than just computers. They can provide greater access to learning resources, support schoolwork at home, and help equip young people with the digital skills needed to navigate an increasingly technology-driven world. For Hot 7 TV News, I am Ethne Brown reporting.
Shifting focus now to public health, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Nutrition's Environmental Health Division recently trained port health stakeholders to strengthen St. Lucia's capacity to manage public health threats. The training focused on improving the country's ability to prevent, detect, communicate and respond to threats at its air and sea ports of entry.
Representatives from the Environmental Health Division, Customs and Excise Department, Immigration Department and the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority gathered to test how they would respond if a health threat emerged at a port of entry. These sessions examined the standard operating procedures guiding port health operations. These procedures outline the responsibilities of each agency and establish a shared approach when officials must act quickly. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmer George said regular training is essential to ensure every participating agency understands its role.
It's important to ensure that every agency, every stakeholder is continuously updated on what they need to do if there's a suspect threat. So this is why standard operating procedures are important. They provide us with a common framework for action, particularly when we are operating under pressure. But procedures are only effective when the people responsible for implementing them understand them, have practiced them, and know how their responsibilities connect with those of other agencies.
The workshop also focused on disease surveillance, compliance with the international health regulations, and St. Lucia's response to public health emergencies. Participants worked through presentations and open discussions before applying what they learned in tabletop simulation exercises. These scenarios allowed the agencies to practice sharing information and coordinating their actions during a possible emergency at a port. Dr. Belma George stressed that coordination must begin before a threat emerges, calling for continued communication among agencies responsible for protecting St. Lucia's borders.
The workshop also provides an opportunity to reinforce the principle that preparedness is a shared responsibility. Our ports must remain safe, secure, resilient, and capable of supporting the continued movement of people and goods while protecting public health.
Health officials say strong port systems must protect the public without unnecessarily disrupting the movement of people and goods. Continued training will therefore be critical to ensuring agencies can respond together when the next public health threat emerges. I'm Christabel Obi reporting for Hot 7 TV News.
We've come to the end of the Midday News edition for today, Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. Join us again at 6:45